Hello, everybody. Today, I will present to you. I will make a little bit of a tutorial of how to get from Ljubljana, the capital of Slovenia, to Belgrade, the capital of Serbia, by train. So, first of all, we're gonna cover a little bit the history about the line. So, Ljubljana is the capital of Slovenia, and Belgrade is the capital of Serbia. Both of these cities and both of these countries were once part of Yugoslavia from 1918 all the way up to 1991. Serbia technically up to 2003, but irrelevant. So there was a line between these two cities between 1919 and 2020 when it was cancelled or discontinued because of COVID, which kind of makes sense. And it was only discontinued for a few years in between this time for around 2 or 3 years each during World War II and during the Yugoslav wars. This line did not run. However, it was discontinued in 2020, and in fact, Serbia discontinued all of its connections. There are no connections between Serbia and Croatia. There are no train connections between Serbia and Croatia, period, at all. There are zero, none, nada. My bad. Let me just turn that off. There was a line from Ljubljana to Belgrade that lasted around 8 hours, and you would get there. And that would be pretty much it. When I was a kid, I actually rode this line a couple of times before it was discontinued, and I remember it. It was the first overnight train I'd ever boarded, and it was the only one until just last year. So there are two countries that border both Slovenia and Croatia. Sorry, Slovenia and Serbia. And those are Croatia, which the train used to go through, and it is the most. Wait, sorry, where is it? Yeah, this is the most logical route, and this is in fact the route that the train used to take. And this is the route that if you just find online without really looking into it, this is the route that it finds you. And this, you will notice that this line takes 23 hours and 43 minutes from 12:20 to 12:03. And you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 transfers. As it turns out, that is luckily not the fastest line. I found a faster one. But okay, so Hungary and Croatia both border both Slovenia and Serbia, as you can see. So you would think that you can just go from Slovenia and then maybe here somewhere and then down back to Serbia, right? Well, yeah, kind of. There is a direct line between Hungary and Serbia, specifically from Szeged to Subotica. But that is not the first train we are taking. This is what you would think that we would take logically. This is the actual route we're taking. So the first country we're going to is actually Austria, which is in the opposite direction of where we want to go. But there's a train at 5 a.m. from Ljubljana that gets you into Budapest at 13:44. That goes through Graz, which is in Austria. Then the second train is at 13:57 from this train station called Budapest. I can't even remember, Zungo or something weird like that. But the train that we were on, so from Ljubljana, came to Budapest Keleti. So the connection is just about 13 minutes. So you have a train at 13:57, and you arrive at 13:44. And you would take a train. You can take public transport and get there barely on time. And for that to even work, this train has to be on time, which is pretty unrealistic. But it's technically possible to make it. So I'm just going to count it. So then you take the train from Budapest to Szeged, which takes around 2 hours and 90 minutes, so this is pretty much the only normal train here. But it's also a MÁV train, which I'm not super happy taking. Then we have a train that is the only real international connection between Serbia and another country, except for the Belgrade-Bar line, which is, I guess, that counts too. From Szeged at 1758 to Subotica in 1924. And this is a train that is 45 kilometers long, and it takes 90 minutes. And this is probably because there's a border here, so you probably have to get stopped at the border for like an hour, and that's probably most of the time that it takes. But it's still a long time, and the average speed of this train is 30 kilometers an hour, which is very slow. And we are in Subotica at 1924. And just so we can remember, we have been traveling for 14 hours and a half at this point. That is a long time. Okay. Then, I have looked at the schedules, and in an official announcement for the opening of this train, which as of uploading this video, this train starts running tomorrow. There is a train to Belgrade at 8. However, when you go to the actual website where the schedules are posted, that train is nowhere to be seen. And I'm genuinely not sure if you can actually go on this one. But it seems to be there, so you can make that connection pretty easily. And there's a high-speed line, only high-speed line of this entire journey to Belgrade, and you can arrive there at 21:15. Now, this line seems to be relatively normal, but the thing is that I myself would not go on this train. And why? So, if you know who this person is, you might recognize him, actually. He's a very important world leader, Jesus. And last week, he was at the promotional event for this train from Subotica to Belgrade. Now, this is the president of Serbia, Aleksandar Vučić. And he's notoriously corrupt. And he currently refuses to release the documentation for the train station in Novi Sad, where the canopy last November collapsed, and fell on 16 people, or probably even more people, but 16 people died. 14 of them that very day. And this sparked mass protests in Serbia, which I have personally witnessed. I'm not from Serbia, but I've been there since the protest started. And there has been the largest protest in the history of the nation, with around 300,000 people back in March. And the reason why I would not recommend riding this train is if the train station in Novi Sad was obviously not built correctly, considering the fact that it fell and killed 16 people, I wouldn't trust this train too much either. Admittedly, the train from Novi Sad to Belgrade has been running for a couple of years and nothing has happened. But you tend to lose trust like this. Anyway, I would like to voice my full support for the student protests going on in Serbia. I hope that all of their goals are achieved soon, and I hope that the right people, the correct people, the responsible people, take responsibility, and that there is a good ending to this. Okay. Bye, and thank you for watching.